Hey everyone, it's Matt with Redline Studios in New York City, here with another Way Back Wednesday. Way Back Wednesdays are when I revisit past productions, pitch meetings, or post edit room events to use as teaching tools for young film and television professionals to gain knowledge from. Many of these videos will take a look at problems I encountered as a producer and how I dealt with them and how I put out potential fires. Today's Way Back Wednesday moment is taken from: you can learn a lot from being part of a bad production. So you worked on a shoot that was a mess. Nothing was organized and things were done completely wrong. And maybe even worse, you volunteered and you didn't even get paid. Well, guess what? That wasn't a bad experience. In fact, there are no bad experiences, just good ones and ones we learned from. You can actually learn a lot from watching or being part of things that are not really effective. I worked 1.5 seasons on NBC's The Apprentice. Yes, with Donald Trump. And for the most part, it was a very good experience. But on a show that big, many things slipped through the cracks. And at the time, I was very young and wanting to start my own production company. And I actually learned so much from watching a giant company operate and learning what things I did not want to do as a small company. One example was we would often send, in my opinion, too many people to go do something as simple as B-roll of the Brooklyn Bridge. We'd have a driver, a DP, an assistant camera, maybe even a sound person. There was just waste. Waste because it was such a big machine. Although I was very young, I still recognized that this wasn't cost-effective or efficient. I'll give you one other story of learning from inefficiencies. I was working as an editor on a reality show about a family in New Jersey, and in the edit, there was no establishing shot of where they lived. And I remember saying to the executive producer, "It would be great if we had a Welcome to Springfield sign here." So she said, "I can arrange that." Now, instead of just sending a camera operator in his own vehicle out to Springfield, New Jersey and shooting that sign, we put together an entire production team: a driver, a van rental, a DP, an assistant camera. I think we even had a sound man and a producer. They all went to New Jersey to shoot this shot. Okay, if we have the money, sure, spend it. But creatively now, if I'm on that shoot, which I wasn't, I know I would have gotten out of that car, I would have shot in a wide, I would have shot in a pan, I would have racked focus from maybe flowers in front of the sign to the sign, maybe see some traffic going behind it. I would have given me, the editor, a ton of footage to work with. But when I got the footage back after an entire day of production, what did I find? I found maybe 6 takes driving past the sign at a high speed, the camera with a long lens, bumping to where everything is out of focus and not framed well. At the end of the day, I had to bring the shot into Photoshop, pull a still from it, and then animate the still in After Effects. That was $10,000 wasted to go get that shot. It wasn't my production, so I didn't care. But I still look back and laugh about the inefficiency and the stupidity of that decision and how much money it cost our production. So, later on, as I started my own company and I got comparable shoots where I needed to go shoot B-roll, the last thing I did was send an entire crew there that was overindulgent, overpriced, and wasteful. I would send exactly what was needed. Now, maybe that's common sense, but I'll tell you, it only reinforced the decisions I made later when starting my own production company of being cost-effective and efficient and not wasteful. I look back on those productions that I worked on for somebody else that I thought were bad and inefficient and poorly put together. And instead of just being disgruntled and saying, "This is so dumb and this is so bad," what I actually did was take knowledge from it so I could implement it into my own productions for their betterment. I'll tell you one last little tidbit about that story. When the footage came back to the edit room, I was complaining about it, and I said to the executive producer that it was poorly executed. Not really just from a financial standpoint, that was really none of my business, but from a creative standpoint, I explained what I would have done as a director. And so what did that do? It actually got me directing opportunities for that company in the future because they heard a clear and concise and obvious plan that was creative and that would have been more beneficial to the edit. And so the next time something needed to be shot for our production, I said, "Let me go do it myself." I did it for half the price, still made good money, and I had a better creative outcome. And so, out of that negative experience, knowledge was gained and opportunity was born. And that's something to remember. I hope you enjoyed this Way Back Wednesday revisit of a project from our archives and found the information and advice helpful. If you have more questions about this specific shoot or any production you see featured on our website at www.redlinestudios.net, I encourage you to write us at insideredlinestudios@gmail.com.